We need a little more light in our life. It's kind of dark in here today. How are we doing? I've been having a good morning, guys. Taking it nice and easy. Nice to have some slow mornings every now and then. Don't just get up and get going, right? Kimmers, thanks for being first as always today. I hope you're having a good one. Who else we got? Bob was second. Nice one, Bob. Scoots is making pork burnt ends. Are you making it with pork belly or pork shoulder? And Dusty, I saw that you posted your car photos in Discord. It looks so good. The headlight cleaner? I didn't even really know that was a thing. Suzanne likes cake. Good to see you. Same with Michael. Welcome in, guys. And DLance03. Only 16 bucks? That's crazy. That's crazy how inexpensive. Like, your car literally looks brand new, dude. Well done. Like, it's actually really nice to see someone be like, okay, I'm not actually gonna just like sell this because it's getting kind of older and it doesn't look amazing. And you actually just like fixed it back up and now you can drive it for like a good another couple years, right? So many people are just like, oh, it's a little bit like damaged, time for a brand new one. I just don't really like how we have created that sort of society because it's so dang wasteful. My gosh. The weather has warmed up here. I think we are finally done with the snow. It feels very springy out, like when the air is so warm that you just have to crank open all the windows in the morning. Honestly, like the best feeling ever. And then you listen to the birdlies singing. Good vibes. It's hella cold there, really? It got cold there because I know it was pretty warm when we talked to Sam's parents. That sucks, Crimson. You did that too, Suzanne. Ugh, it's just the best feeling ever. And yeah, other than that, haven't really done too much this morning. Just taking it easy. So hopefully Greco-Greek comes in today because this stream is dedicated to him. He is a longtime viewer of the channel, and so he saved up the Twitch channel points. We call them pots and pans here. You need 50,000 of them, and then you can request me to make something live for you on stream. So Greek wanted a miso ramen today with pork belly chashu and all of the other yummy things that you would get in a bowl of ramen. Okay, see you soon, Bonk. Drive safe. Thank you very much for the message. So here's the menu, guys. If you were in yesterday's stream, you would have seen us start the pork belly chashu because you have to make it the day before so it sits overnight in the soy sauce sort of broth. It looks insane, you guys. So that's the only thing to kind of keep in mind, to do that the day before. But everything else we're gonna finish today. So we're gonna make a miso broth, and we were laughing yesterday because it's actually gonna be like a turducken broth. So it's like a turkey, chicken, and duck broth mixture. And then obviously we'll flavor that with all of the different aromatics that you need. And I'm just gonna have some like the long straight wheat noodles, because you can get different kinds of noodles when you order ramen out. And I like both kinds, but I had these already in the pantry, so I thought I would use that up. From the broth that we cooked the pork belly in, we are going to create our soy marinated egg. So we just have to boil some eggs. I like to have them really like jammy and yolky inside still, not fully cooked through. So we'll be sure to do that proper, and then you just pop the eggs into the broth and then let them marinate while we create the rest of the dish. And then for like little garnish sort of things, let's say, these are all really typical as well. You don't need all of them. You can leave some of them out, up to you. But I really like corn for like a little bit of sweetness and color. And like the kind of like fresh crunch, I guess, from the corn, because ramen is quite a rich dish. Some crispy garlic chips, sliced green onion, and then just some toasted sesame seeds for on top. a pretty simple ramen bowl, this one. And I will also say I've had quite a few ramens in my life when we lived in Vancouver, and there are all sorts of broths and noodles and ingredients that you can add to it. Kind of every restaurant has their own take on it. So I have been to like our favorite ramen place in Vancouver. Hopefully it still exists. That'd be weird if it didn't. They do a all chicken broth for their broths of their ramen, but then they still add pork on top of it. And I really like the flavor of the chicken. It kind of goes like nutty contrast. So we're kind of gonna do a similar thing to that today. I think the ramen spot was called Maritamu. I'm gonna type it in chat. And one unique thing about this place when we would go is they have homemade noodles there, which you don't always find. So they actually have this like little noodle making machine, but you still need someone to like man it. And so it cuts all the noodles fresh when you go. Oh man. Let me see if I spelt it right, because I might have not. Oh, I think I did. Oh no. It's Marutama. I'll send you guys the link so you can look at the bowl of ramen. And this was the first bowl of ramen we actually ever had in our life that was done proper. They changed the name of it, guys. Maruhachi ramen. It's been around since 2013. Unreal. Actually, I believe we have IRL streamed from there too, once upon a time, so that's cool. Okay, let's make our little prep list and away we go. What's everyone else getting up to today? I think I'm just gonna take it pretty easy after stream. I can't believe it's Sunday already either, guys. This weekend really went by quick. Okay, so first things first, we will take the pork out of the broth. Yeah, definitely a wok dust. But other than that, I don't think too much. The ramen place in Ottawa you sometimes go to is called San Sote. Yum. What do you usually get? So we'll strain the pork and then we'll get our boiled egg stuff going. Just a small pot of water on the stove until it's boiling, and then I usually do a 7.5 minute boil on my egg, so it's more medium. 7.5 minutes. If you like it like very yolky and like even the white a little bit runny, do 6.5 minutes. And I haven't watched the race yet. Bob, you haven't either? I can't keep up with all this stuff. I don't even know. Like a lot of the times I'll just wait to watch it with Sam, right? Okay, so strain our pork, boil the eggs, and marinate, let's say. From there, we can probably slice the pork into pieces because that is how it is always served. And then let's start working on our broth after that. We'll start flavoring it. We already have the crispy garlic done. Let me see if I have enough just for myself. I always just kind of have garlic chips chilling in the fridge, so we're good to go on that. I'll use it up. And like a lot of times when you go to a ramen spot, they'll have some condiments in the middle of the table. So like the garlic chips, maybe some chili flakes, sesame seeds, different stuff that you can put on or not, right? Okay, so garlic chips done. We can slice our green onion. The corn, I'm just gonna kind of blanch it in the broth right before we serve because I have a cute little noodle basket that I can dunk in. That's a really easy one, right? Corn doesn't take long to cook, but we can take it out early so it thaws. And then just the sesame seeds. I think I have to toast some. And sesame seeds are always going to taste better when you toast them. They go, once again, like really nutty, just like every other nut or seed. I think that's it, guys. So I have a couple recipes linked. I found a nice recipe from Just One Cookbook, which is a really good Japanese cookbook for the like miso part of the broth, but I'm not gonna fully follow it for the whole ramen because they do like a ground sort of pork thing going on there. So I linked that for the broth for us to follow, and then I also linked the chashu if you want to make that. Poppy seeds are better than sesame. Yeah, but not for like ramen though, right? That would be kind of crazy. Poppy seeds are like pretty underrated, eh? We could say that. Okay, let me take all this out. Oh, and then the pork did end up taking 3 hours. Are you ready for this, guys? Oh, baby. Whoa. I didn't think about like the pork fat hardening up, but that's okay. Let's do our best here. Because it said that it had to cool in the fridge overnight in the broth, right? So we're just following the directions. Cinnamon pork snails. Yeah, it literally looks like cinnamon rolls, right? So let's just get, maybe just pop that on the cutting board, right? Because we have to slice them. Okay, so it's quite like tender, right? So we don't want to mess up the meat too much. So just gently kind of lift it out of the air. There. Why did I say that like that? I'm getting too excited. I'm just gonna pick off some of the fat. Also, one note on like fat. Some ramen places, you can order like a extra side of fat to pour into your broth if you want it more fatty. This one, obviously, we won't use today. It came apart like halfway through cooking, and well, you're not going to fix it at that point, right? So I thought we would just save this one for Samo, I think. I'm gonna vacuum seal it and put it in the freezer for him. It'll still be delicious though, by all means. It's just not as perfect. Everyone keeps saying that. They think it's cinnamon buns. That'd be such a weird looking cinnamon bun though. Okay, like how the onions and the garlic caramelized in the soy sauce mixture. It's really crazy. Just rinsing my hands a sec, which is like impossible if your water's not boiling hot. It's just coated in fat. Oh, really, Mr. Fabrizio? You can't have miso? And high crux gooey cinnamon syrup. Yeah, it could have been, I guess. The white stuff around the fat would have been like the icing. Pork cinnabuns. You're actually eating a cinnamon roll right now. That's funny. Okay. Let's just put these into the fridge for now. That's how they turned out. Thank you, Mish, for the 1 bit.ly. Did the alert even go off? What the heck? Okay, now I'm gonna get a container to put the fat in, and then we need a strainer to strain all the aromatics out of this. Oh, hi. Yeah, that's a good one too. Chili oil. Like a lao gan ma. I don't know what those words are, but I'm sure I've probably had it before. Sometimes I like spicy ramen, other times I don't. And like even making this miso one today, I was like, do I want to make it spicy? I don't know yet. It's hard to make these decisions, right? Okay, my strainer's already over there because I strained our ham stock that we made overnight from our ham bones and scraps from yesterday's stream. Try to not get any of the onions and stuff with this fat. And then I think the other thing I'll do once I have it all taken out of this is tomorrow I'll like heat the fat back up and get it strained from all the soy sauce. And then I can use it for cooking. But there's definitely no reason to throw this out. So much flavor and goodness in there. And pork fat's also really nice to cook with because the actual flavor of the pork fat is quite mild. I'm thinking that this is gonna be like a flavored pork fat though because of the soy sauce and stuff. So let's see. I'm not gonna pick like every frickin' small piece out. Lao Han Ma is the chili crisp. Okay. See, I have had it then. Thanks, Flower. Also, hi. Hope you're doing good. Hey, that's good for me. Right? We gotta save all the foods. With the price of groceries these days, I've been really getting into trying to like save and use up everything. And I will say, it's starting to save me money. I've been noticing it. The fridge gives you anxiety when I open the door? Why? What's wrong with it? It's pretty stacked up right now, but it's organized. I got all my containers stacked. What you need? A full fridge is a good fridge in my mind. Okay, now, this might get a little bit like messy for me to strain. Let me see. Maybe not. I'm gonna put this over a little bowl. I might have to add a little bit more water for the eggs to marinate them. Let's see. Ooh, I have seen that actually, like the spicy chili oil fried eggs. I also love how you can reuse this broth to marinate the eggs. I've never done this step before. I've always just have to make your own broth for the soy eggs, right? I'm just gonna press this down a bit. It might look gross. We'll get all of the liquid out. Kind of messy. And then we'll have to take that stuff right out of the strainer. So I'm just gonna go right over to the garbage with it because we still need the strainer for our actual miso broth later. Because I'm gonna put some different aromatics in like kombu and stuff like that. So rinse that back out. Who in chat has had ramen before? It doesn't have to be a miso ramen. And like, I guess instant noodles can count, but you know it's not the real deal, right? As long as we know that. Nice, guys. Hi, Mickey. You think you have? You've had it many times, but you don't actually like it. Okay, so that was like me. When I first started eating it in Vancouver, most of the places, they all served it with the yellow alkaline, like curly noodles. Are those the ones that you don't like, Suzanne? So then, yeah, we eventually just stopped going to the places that serve that type of noodle. I'll show you the one noodle that I always like to have. I feel like the alkaline noodles used to be way stronger though. Like 6 or so years ago. They don't taste as strong anymore, I find. So I usually use just like the Japanese somen noodles. They're just long, straight, and thin wheat noodles. They are so good and like really cheap to buy. Flour, you've tried making ramen from scratch, but your broth isn't very authentic. Do you go like kind of a lighter broth then? Rather than going like really like heavy and rich? I mean, there's also different kinds of ramen broth out there. So don't feel like you're like making it wrong, right? Okay, let's put that to the side for now. We need our pot on for our eggs first. And then for me, I don't know how much leftovers I'm gonna make, but I think I'll make like 3 soy eggs. And put that on medium heat to start going. You like the broth, the chashu, the soy eggs? Have you ever gone to ramen then and been like, I don't actually want the noodles? I wonder if they'd even serve it to you. Because a lot of the places where we went to eat ramen, they had like all these different rules, which made sense, right? Like you can't take it, you can't order it and take it to go. You have to sit down and eat it, and then whatever's left, you can pack it up. And then I always remember you have to say like if you want extra noodles, because I would often get like an extra order of noodles because I had so much leftover ramen ingredients in my bowl, and I'd take that home and I'd have lunch the next day. Costco eggs. I've never had an issue with this organic brand of the Costco eggs. Although, okay, I will say the last time we went to buy them, they had some very odd looking, like almost medium-sized eggs in these containers. And they were like all kind of white on the outside of the shells. And Sam and I were like, what the heck? They just had this weird palette put out in front of the other ones. So then I go look behind and they all look normal like this. So I think something was messed up last week in their egg distributor or wherever they got it from. They maybe gave the chickens the wrong feed. Because like even that's not very big. It's almost like a medium-sized egg. When you order ramen, the broth comes separately. So you like to dip your noodles in the broth then, and you like a thicker broth. That's not tonkatsu though, right? It has a different name. And I've had that before, and it's actually so Delicious. Yeah, sakumen, that's what it's called. Sakumen ramen. So you'll be served, guys, your noodles and like condiments in a bowl, and then you have a smaller bowl on the side with your like molten broth. You pour it over this stuff then. So maybe that's even different than sakumen. Because I've always been told that sakumen, you dip your noodles. Some people serve beans separate from the chili. Well, I know in Texas and like in the States, they don't really put too much beans in their chili. Okay, we strained our pork. We're getting the eggs boiling. Let's taste this. It's probably phenomenal. And the nice thing about this as well is you can reuse your soy egg broth at least 2 times. So I'm gonna save this after we're done with it. I'm gonna freeze it because I wanna make Sam a portion of this ramen when he comes home. Hi, Greek. I'm glad you're here. This stream is for you. Ginger, garlic, soy sauce. It's not too salty or sweet. Yeah, we don't need anything added to that. And I think we have enough that it will submerge, or we can use a little lid to push them down underneath. So let's just put that. Yeah, it doesn't have to go in the fridge just yet. We'll be okay. Oh, you're saying, I see why you do that. Yeah, keep your noodles separate from the broth so when you take it home. I mean, that is usually how they pack it up for you anyways, right? That's not too different. Weasel, what up? How are you doing? Okay, we're getting into quickly slicing our pork while we wait for the egg water to boil. And I think I'll use a serrated knife for this. And then one tip Kenji said for slicing, if it's too hard to slice it in the full round, is you can always like slice your piece in half and then you have a flat surface to cut on. So see what works for you. Cleaning, cooking, have few Sunday beers, nice. I'm doing good. Very excited to eat this creation today. So first I'm just gonna take all of the strings. Hello? My paring knife needs a little sharpen, I guess. This one came apart while it was cooking, so it's kind of funny looking, but still delicious. That's what matters the most. Oh yeah, your whole dryer catastrophe. Now you got a new one finally? That's gotta be exciting. I'll throw that in the garbage now. I'm gonna rinse my hands. Okay. I'm not gonna get into that one. We're gonna save it. Let's see how this one goes. I'm gonna turn it like this, kind of seems like the flat side, and we're just gonna do nice thin slices. Don't go too thin, like we're not shaving it. It has to stay together in its form. You don't want it to start falling apart. So let's say like 1/4 inch thick. Yeah, see, the fat is like so soft. Once we get going though, it's not bad. Sweet. Look at that, guys. This was a very fatty piece, but my gosh. Hi, Kiwi. Yeah, meaty Cinnabon. Yeah, Weasel, right? It's like, okay, what will break next? I'm gonna try and get 4 slices out of each round. And then I would say what? Typically, I can probably just work my knife like this because it's so soft. Typically, we get like 3 slices of chashu in a bowl. That's working so good. This one's gonna be a challenge, but we got this. It's also not easy to hold on to because the fat is like slippery. Now I want to go to like a ramen place. Well, they probably just roll up a whole pork belly, right? They don't just have these hilarious medallions to use. Because whenever you have a whole piece of meat, it's easier to carve. Got it. Okay, this last one's pretty thick. And then I'm going to, I think, just bake these like under the broiler. We're gonna put them on a like roasting tray on a sheet pan propped up. And then we'll just get them nice and like seared off, and we'll let the residual heat from the broth from the ramen soften the meat back up. Oh yeah, right? For sure they would be like popping the whole pork belly roll on the deli slicer and just ripping through it, and then all the pieces are the same. Totally. Ugh, thanks, Proxima. There's something to be said about like really being slow and controlled in your actions. This one I'm really excited for. Like I'll probably just eat out of this piece of the chashu because it's more meaty. I find that like I can't eat anything too fatty anymore. My body just doesn't like it. Nom. TV, you and I need to get in a kitchen together. It'd be the best of both worlds. See what I mean about like smooshing the fat? Okay, and then the other way that you can slice it, which I honestly like hate slicing things in this way, but a lot of people do it, is like to put your finger there and like go horizontally. I wouldn't risk it if you're not feeling confident to begin with. My egg pot is going nuts over here. One sec. Bonk is here. He made it. I'm just rinsing my hands and then we'll pop the eggies in and get our timer on. So those can cook while we finish. Now it looks like deli meat. Totally. Like wet pancetta almost. Okay, so I always set my timer before I drop the eggs in, so that once they're all in there, we can just press the button and nothing gets overcooked. So 7.5 minutes is what we want on the timer, and this will give us a nice like custardy yolky egg. And that's it. Press start. Go a little bit higher on the temp, just so they do keep like boiling, actually. The full name was used, Robert. Holy, you guys. You can't work with anyone in a kitchen? Well, don't say that. How are we supposed to collab together? Bonk's timeout fingers already twitching? Or is it itching? Is there something wrong with it? Okay, I think if I open this and just saw it now, we're good. Okay, we successfully chashued, but this one piece is so dang thick, my lord. Let's fix it. Better. And then this is just gonna get vacuum sealed in its whole form. So don't slice meat if you're gonna freeze it. It's just gonna get freezer burnt quicker. Thanks, Bonk. She needs it every now and then. She'll come back and she'll still love us. Maybe even more, actually. But yeah, the smell in the house even, when this was cooking last night, I couldn't wait for it to be done so I didn't have to smell it anymore. Okay, now I can just pop that in the fridge. That's like the hard part of the stream is complete. Okay, while we're waiting on the eggs, let's prepare the sheet pan for heating up the chashu. We need the oven rack. I don't know if I need a piece of foil underneath. I guess we can. And then we'll get our broth going. This is what we want. We're propping it under the broiler and then we're just gonna flip it. Once the one side is seared, flip it over, let it finish, and then it should be heated through. I know a lot of the places that serve chashu, they just like use a torch to heat it up. Yeah, that works. A little is better than nothing. Just to help those sugars from burning right onto the sheet pan. It's a Sambo. Only 11 days left. That's hilarious. It's flying by. You're working on your version of chocolate mousse with coffee and Kahlua. Poached pears for decoration. The ganache is going to be made out of silken tofu. Interesting. Yes, I love using the circulator to poach stuff in. It's so lovely. I keep seeing people use date syrup, but they're not in North America, and I've never seen this before. Slice the pork. Next one, the broth. We're gonna do a little bit of reading together first. Get our pot out though. And I think we can start maybe heating it up. Flood City, thank you very much for the 100 bitlies, my friend. Okay. What do these recipes say? Clicking on the first one there. And for those of you that missed it when I posted this, this is the best ramen spot that we've ever been to, and this meal will probably turn out like similar to it today. Nice, Kiwi. That's funny, you in your like mousse adventure reminds me when I was in culinary school doing a competition in my last year. The amount of chocolate mousses that I've made to get like the perfect one. But we got there. Trekkert, how's it going? Good to see you. Okay, so from just one cookbook, I linked a miso ramen recipe. We're only following it really for the broth. Nothing too much else because she does like a minced pork and stuff like that in there where we're doing something a bit different. Did I win the competition? Oh man, I actually ended up winning and it was the most hilarious thing ever. So what the competition was is the like third year student is paired with a first year student and they have to work together, but like I create the menu and they basically like help me, but you're still graded on like teamwork and organization and stuff like that. So like we get to where they're like judging all the food and they're like giving out all the awards, which like the ones that I think we would have gotten. And they go through, okay, the third place, the second place. And at that point, we're just like, okay, we totally like lost, right? Nope, we ended up winning. And it was just like the craziest, awesome experience ever. And like my name is still on a copper trophy at the culinary school, which is pretty cool. That's our 7.5 minutes. That was the story. Okay, so now turn off your egg pot. We're just gonna go pour the hot water into the sink, but leave the eggs in the pot. And then we're gonna run some cold water over to stop them from cooking. And then in a moment or so, we can take them out when you can touch them and they're not super hot, and we'll get them peeled and marinating. I will say I'm not like the most professional ramen maker at all. Probably Tabatai Cooking is the one to go to for that. But it's definitely something I really like making at home. I don't know why that is. It's not super expensive either, I would say. Hey, those will sit there for a bit. Because I tried to like wear my hair down on stream today and I think it's eventually gonna get put up still. I was like, let's try this since it's not as long anymore. No. Yeah, Graham, go to Tabatai Cooking if you want like any Japanese food and ramen. And then if you want curries, watch the Curry King, Minnesota Taz. Ramen, yeah, we can definitely say it's an art form. And I think there are like just certain things that they don't tell us. Like there are some secrets behind how to make the proper broth and stuff like that that we'll never make that at home. And that's okay. We can get close. It's still a fun thing to do. Hey, she says this. You can make delicious miso ramen with authentic broth at home in less than 30 minutes. That's pretty crazy statement right there. That would be the fastest I've ever cooked, I think. Nice, thanks for doing those shout outs. Kiwi. My name's welded on the inside of a lathe gearbox in the agroforestry college. You would put it there. Okay, I'm scrolling down. Okay, she says, when you're in Japan, you'll quickly learn that there are 3 basic ramen flavors. Shio, which means salt, shoyu, which means soy sauce, and miso, which is a fermented soybean paste. Let's take it out. So then, we have a shiro miso, which is one of the lighter miso pastes that you can get. And I like it for its like kind of rounded out balanced flavor. You can mix it in a lot of things and it's not like overly salty or anything like that. What does it taste like? How could we like describe the taste of miso? A salty sort of creamy mixture? I don't know. It's a hard one to describe, but that's what we're gonna use today. Shiro means white, so we're using a white miso. I haven't bought miso in a long time, but they make all sorts of misos as well. I remember seeing like a barley one from this one brand. So you can really go crazy with the sort of miso that you buy for this. And then she says, if you're wondering about tonkatsu ramen, that's a type of broth. And the tonkatsu means pork bone broth. So if they're calling it tonkatsu, it always has to has pork. It's so good, right, Dust? And then we were also talking when Flower was in here earlier, she was saying how she likes to get her noodles separate from the broth, which I thought she was talking about the Sakumen style of ramen, that you get the broth and the noodles separate. Also a very lovely type to try. 5 key ingredients for quick miso ramen at home. Number 1, you need the miso. She says to use a fermented bean paste as well as the miso. I don't really think that's necessary. If you have it, by all means. She calls it dubanjiang. I hope I say that right. Okay, number 3, sesame seeds and sesame oil. Number 4, homemade or store-bought chicken broth. We have all homemade, turkey, duck, and chicken. And this is an interesting one. I don't think I've ever put in my miso ramen, is white pepper. So there's also different kinds from Shiro. There's light colored to black colored. Whoa. Tonkatsu. Not katsu. It's true. This is a good article though, because she puts photos of all of the things. Oh, okay, so she put a photo of what the dubanjiang is, and it looks like just a spicy chili bean sauce. So if you want to spice up your ramen, use that. If you don't use that. I'm still scrolling. Where's the actual recipe? Right, because probably the longer it's fermented, the darker it's gonna get, right? Okay, so for the soup broth, she says we need garlic, ginger, shallot, or onion. That is a pretty typical one for any sort of Asian broth. Then our miso. She does a bit of like sugar and sake if you want to balance out the flavors at the end when you taste it. And then obviously some sort of broth. Yum bong. Miso glazed salmon. A little kiss on the grill. Let that miso caramelize a bit. I haven't had cooked salmon in a long time. I've had like sushi salmon, but my goodness, that sounds so dang good right now. Come to me, brothy bits. So we'll get this heating up and then we'll start like slicing up our garlic, our ginger, all that different stuff. So first things first, duck stock. Miso that's fermented in a cold smoker? Holy heck. That's like when Sam's parents cooked their maple syrup for the first time over a wood fire and it was like a smoky maple syrup. Life-changing. This color of the broth actually looks so gross. I don't even know what to say. You can see how like the darker color of the duck meat really affects it. The rest of this is like turkey and chicken. Also, you know you have a really good broth when it's gelatinous and you can't even pour it out of the container. I probably could have added water to some of this and called it a day, right? Because it's so concentrated. I think I might actually save this other one because I like to drink bone broth in the mornings. And I'm gonna be sad if I use it all up. So let's save this one and like look how clear that is. Ask for hamachi kama, grilled yellowtail collar. Oh, I love those little secret menu items. Okay, so we'll get that heating on the stove top over medium heat. Garlic, ginger, onion. It's like the 3 ingredients we've used all weekend. People always balk when you use aspic as a flavoring agent. Like you're saying the gelatin? Guys, she only said to use 2 cloves of garlic again for the soup broth. What is with this 2 clove of garlic trend? Did they forget to put a 1 in front? So we're gonna go double that for sure. Once we get these 3 aromatics in, we'll peel our eggs next so that they can marinate. The longer the better on those ones. It's the best if you let them sit overnight. That's good. I'm not gonna peel the ginger really, maybe just a couple parts where it looks kind of gross. But other than that, we're just gonna do some nice thin slices of the ginger. Lots of surface area. I'm just gonna use it all up, guys. Oh, one thing I saw on one of the farms that I follow on Instagram, she was talking about juicing ginger for her husband. who has like arthritis in one of his knees from catching too many quails from when he was young. And I guess just straight up ginger juice helps the arthritis not be as painful. And I thought that was pretty cool of them to share. Because we've talked about that before on stream with like the ginger and turmeric. We're gonna use all of this and we're just gonna thinly slice it as well. And yeah, I can definitely say like whenever I eat ginger, I always feel so good. It's like a natural energy drink, I say. And then the last one that wasn't in the recipe, but I always add to my ramen broth is kombu. Just some pieces of dried seaweed. Ramen is one of the dishes that you'll restrain yourself from too much garlic. That's true, right? Because it can just overpower everything. You wonder if ginger is good for anxiety. Yeah, you really gotta wonder, right? Do you feel different when you have it, Trek? Yum, Crimson. Actually, like, still want to make kombucha. I think that'd be so fun. Orange turmeric. Yeah, the same with seasickness. Good one, Kiwi. You can take ginger pills to help with that. You've never had anxiety? Well, you're lucky. Pretty sure I wake up every day with anxiety, and I'm still wondering how to get rid of it. Once we stir the miso into that later, it's gonna go really nice and creamy. Okay, kombu. What else is over here? We got the sesame seeds. I got black and white ones. I'll probably use a mixture of both. If you have pancreatitis, don't use ginger though. It's too strong and acidic, probably. You meant you've never had ginger, Trek? I am shocked. It's okay, there's a first time for everything. Right, Crimson? Okay, so this is what kombu is. Kombu. Just these pieces of dried seaweed that's like tied in a knot. One is probably enough for this small amount of broth. You'll see it really expand. It's like the magical growing dinosaur. That's what kombu is. So we'll let all that stuff slowly simmer away for, I would say, at least 30 minutes to get maximum flavoring in. Now we're gonna peel our eggies. That's amazing, Trekker. You should definitely go out and buy a piece of fresh ginger this week to try. Interesting, Bonk. Thanks for sharing. It's good to know that stuff. Oh, a little froggy? Little frogger? So this is how I always peel my eggs, is leave a little bit of water in the pot or wherever you're peeling them. Crack all the shells. And then put them back in. Yeah, candied ginger is a good one too. You can't use it in as many savory things because it's quite sweet, but it is a great place to start. Whoa. This egg is gonna cause us problems. Are you seeing this? We're just gonna leave that one till the end. One note on peeling boiled eggs as well is the older your egg, the better it's gonna peel. I'm just gonna pour more water in. So the older your egg, the nicer it peels. A lot of people don't know that. So if you buy like really fresh eggs, do not try to use them for boiled eggs. You'll just cause yourself too much stress. And I see these ones are trying to be bad. This one I think we're gonna have an issue with. We'll see. I even just had some bone broth the other morning with Sam before he left and like grated some fresh ginger right into it. Holy, that was good. Candied ginger and dark chocolate, is that one of your snacks you like? Or do they coat it in dark chocolate? Erlen peeling under running water. That could help. I don't like to waste water too much. So that's why I just usually have this pot. Ah! Maybe we'll get one nice egg out of this. Maybe not. It really bugs me, though, when we don't have a perfect egg, I will say that. Like, it's for the photo and everything. So now, just dunk it in there for now. It's okay if it's sticking out a bit. I'll show you how to get it underneath there. Okay, this one is looking promising. Nice, Rogers chocolate. This is gonna be the one for the photo. Oh no, it's not. Literally, as I say it, it peels apart. Hi, 7-star, welcome back. You like when ramen places call it broken egg? I've never seen that, actually. Only ever seen it called, how do you say it? Ajisuki tamago is the Japanese name for the soy egg. Okay, gently. Whew! That's the only place where it got a little messed up. That's not bad. Give it a little rinse before you dunk to get any shells off. In. Peel it like an onion Greek. This one is scary. It's like falling apart already. Like, what the heck? It's like the egg is... What? How is it not cooked? How is there still egg white in there, Rennie? One thing about me, Bonk, I get really grossed out with runny egg white like this. That's one thing about me. Samo's okay with it, but I'm just like, ah. So I'm not gonna rinse it in the shell water. I'm just gonna go really gently under cold water. Because, like, the heat from the broth will still cook that and it'll mix in and be good, but it's still not optimal. Alright, strain this, throw out the shells. Yeah, snotty eggs. I hate even saying it. I hate even saying that. now we can see that the eggs are floating, right? They're not submerged to be able to marinate. I'm gonna grab a lid. And then we need something like not too heavy, just enough to weigh it down. Let me see what kind of little ramekins and stuff I have over here, but we're gonna just put this on top. I've also seen like the best way, because you can see how there's still some white bits, is to use a paper towel. Will like completely perfectly get it coated, and you just let your paper towel get all absorbed, and it keeps the eggs underneath. I mean, that's kind of working already on its own. It's suctioned down into that. I'm gonna call it a day. Like, how are the other 2 eggs not like that one? Exploded. So crazy. That's okay, Greek. I know you're here. I knows it. Broth is going. We marinated the eggs. Good work, everyone. Let's take out our little bit of corn. A very corny weekend. But I really like corn in ramen. Did something just fall out? Chocolate bar. Let's just do 2 cups of corn. And then I'm just going to blanch it in the broth later before we serve. I have this cute little noodle basket. So that just gets dunked into the broth and let it heat up. Our frosty corn. Also, I'm trying to use it up, right? It's so dang frosty. You can't stand corn in ramen, but you like the bean sprouts. It's totally personal preference. Nice, we made some room in the freezer this weekend. Good job, team. Next one, green onions. Feta in ramen, really? You used to get buttercorn ramen from a mom and pop shop in Japan. That's still like a place that I'm very fascinated to be able to visit in my life, is Japan. I really feel like I'd fall in love with it. Okay, I'm gonna rinse the bottom just like yesterday, because that's kind of gross. Greek needs to bring the feta today, Mish. I like how he just says, I know. Wait, what? Potato chip ramen? Potato chip ramen? Also, just want to show you guys what's happening over here. There's things. It looks good. That's like exactly what we want. Let's not go too much more crazy simmer than that, because you'll just evaporate all the broth. Tuck that one in there, otherwise it'll fly around. Some other things that I didn't add today, but I guess we can if you want, is like nori. And the one link to the ramen spot that I posted in chat, they have like the best nori. It's like such a nice like light green color. It's unlike anything I've ever had, honestly. It's not like the sushi nori. Yeah, I've never been able to find it in stores. Mandolin fresh potatoes, wash them, dry them, toss them in a wok and fry them up. And then put it on a shio ramen? Are you joking me? Like, come on. That's like how pleasantly surprised I was when I had the fried Brussels sprouts on ramen. Okay, so we'll need a little pot just to boil our noodles on the side. Cooking oil and ghee so it would have such good flavor too. Madness, I tell you. There's sneaky onions. Pop those in the fridge. We gotta toast some sesame seeds coming up. We'll go over to the stove. I think we'll just do them in a little like pan on this side. I don't have to turn up the oven. I want to toast these white sesame seeds. And this is already smelling like so good. Ginger. I can smell the kombu already. I'll also show you guys how much it expanded. It's probably gonna go more. Can you see that? That's how big the kombu got. Yeah, this little pan. Just do it back here. Turn that on medium heat too. Pour in a little bit of sesame seeds. I usually do enough to just coat the bottom of the pan. And then we'll watch for them to start turning golden brown, and they might actually start like popping a bit too. And then we can just mix some black sesame with the toasted white sesame, and I think that will look really good. So while we're waiting for that, let's get our noodle pot going. Some water in there. I've cooked the noodles in the broth before, but I find that it really absorbs a lot of the broth. It like takes it away from what you want to be eating with the soup. So I find it's better to just cook the noodles on the side by themselves. Also started to notice some of the grocery stores here are carrying like fresh ramen noodles in the freezer section. I was like, hey, that's cool. I'm just gonna go put a bun up really quick because I'm annoyed at my hair. It's dry and now I'm annoyed. Bam. Okay, why is my camera doing this today? Imagine if we didn't. Are you guys seeing that too, or is it just on my side? I don't think I would go through the process of making ramen noodles at home ever. But I love these. They cook super quick, like 3 minutes. I like the somen noodles. Lots of people don't like the alkaline. I know that I didn't like it when I first started eating them. Yes, yeah. Although we could talk about that one too, because when you go out for ramen, you can order like a specific doneness of your noodle, right? I guess some people like soggy, overcooked noodles. I never like specified how they should cook it. I just always had what they made. That was good enough for me. It was really good, Dust. Yeah, the book Creative Act by Rick Rubin. I listened to it on Audible at the beginning of the month. It was very good. I think I'll be listening to it again though, because some of the things he said, like, I don't feel like really stuck in me. That might also just be a part of like listening to a book rather than me reading, because I'm quite a visual person. But yes, 100% would read. And then the next book that I'm reading right now is called, what is it? The Habit of Breaking Yourself or something by Dr. Joe Dispenza. It's been amazing. I really like biology and stuff like that, and like psychology, and that's what he talks about, and like quantum physics. I can't stop listening to it. Ramen nudes are a whole thing in itself, Greek, unless you know what you're doing. I've never looked up how they make the alkaline ones, but I'm assuming that they are like extruded. And then these ones are either pressed or cut as well. Finally, like, have some toasting action back here. Ramen is life. Yeah, it is. When's the last time? Actually, we went out recently for ramen, but I ended up getting a don bowl, like a rice bowl instead. And Sam got the ramen, and it looked really, really good. A new, like, mom and pop place, too, that a lot of people haven't heard of yet. There's, like, 4 tables, I think, in the whole place. I actually love those videos of, like, going down a rabbit hole of, like, a 2-hour-long YouTube video of, like, the art of making ramen or something like that. What, Mish? Canada's maple syrup reserve is almost as empty as sap is almost empty as the sap season becomes another casualty of the winter that wasn't. This is the shit that I'm telling you. They couldn't even make maple syrup this year because it wasn't cold enough in Canada. Come on. Okay, I'm gonna taste this, see how we're doing, because I see it reduced a little bit already. And the smells are good. Also, let's give this a little toss-a-roo as well. Those are probably good. A nice like little gingery kick at the end, but you still taste everything else. So what does this mean? I should probably go stock up on maple syrup before they raise the price of it astronomically, right? Okay, noted. Go buy like 2 containers from Costco. So the broth tastes like a little underwhelming right now because there's no salt at all that we've added to it. I don't want my sesame seeds to burn here. So yeah, there's no salt in there yet, right? And we know like miso, there's a little bit of water on the sink where I put my pot. Miso is really salty. So that's why we don't add any salt or season our broth until the miso has been added. Toasted, nutty sesame seeds. Just gonna mix in a couple black ones. Ta-da! Garnish. Complete. The salt should come from the kombu. I'm getting like the definitely sea flavor, like oceanic. Haven't got too much salt yet from it. And yes, we can always do like a very small pinch of MSG as well. Imagine if I made like a Cook with Kate pots and pansware line. I feel like every chef has done that. And there's more pots and pans than we could ever need to consume in our life. The MSG umami should come out of the kombu. Yeah, I was surprised that she didn't add that in the recipe. That is always my go-to. Okay, so for straining this, just get another pot to strain the broth into. And then I suppose we'll turn on the pot here for the noodles. Hi Cookie, how are you? Welcome in. Greek, you need the Cook with Kate edition ones. Ta-da! I might like save all these aromatics for myself and steep that last little bit of bone broth in the fridge with these for my mornings, because I feel like that aromatic stuff has lots of flavor in there still. Cookie, you having a good Sunday? Put that over on the side. Pour back into here. And when we mix the miso in, it's gonna make this look nice and creamy. Maybe change the color just a little bit from this kind of like brownish grayish look from the duck stock. Red wine braised short ribs. I'm coming over. I can't even imagine how much that dish would cost to eat out now. Probably close to $50 a plate. Whoa, there's like this crazy layer of fat on the top of the broth. So get your miso, whatever you're using. They even have a little recipe of how to make like a tofu and wakame miso soup. That's what you usually get in the restaurant. And so a lot of times people will do this to mix their miso in because the paste is like quite hard. And sometimes it can get clumpy. So I like to scoop it into a bowl. Kind of just eyeball what you think you'll need. You can always add more after, right? But I don't like to water down a broth if I made it too salty. That's probably a good start. You don't have to add all of it right away either. And then let's just get a ladle and a small whisk, and you just pour a little bit of the broth in to make your miso liquefied. And then you can whisk it back into the broth and there's no lumps. $30 for 2 pounds of short ribs. That's not bad. 100% grass-fed. I feel like beef is actually more expensive here now than what you are paying. Then you just kind of smoosh it up. I think we need more broth. Almost like how you mix liquid into like a roux, right? When you're making a sauce. A little bit of liquid at a time. Until it's nice and smooth. And now we can add this in spoonfuls back in until we're happy with the taste. Or yeah, like melting peanut butter for a sauce. Same, but different. I'll probably just use that little whisk I had. Yeah, look how nice and creamy that went. I'm gonna taste it after these 2 additions. Just to see. Oh, that's why my phone's doing that. Because it's low on battery. Okay. That was enough miso. I'm surprised it actually tastes as perfect as it does. Okay, let me try and describe the flavors. I would think that we got the umami from the kombu out. Because there's that little something in the back that's just like, really good. I don't think we need any MSG in there. You can just like slightly taste the ginger, garlic, and onion, but no flavor is really overpowering itself. And like the flavor from the broth, what it was made from, so the turkey, chicken, and duck, like you still get that meaty flavor first. Yeah, it's like nutty and sweet. For sure the miso adds that nuttiness. I know I have extra miso. Is it weird to just put that back in the miso container, guys? Because I freeze it anyways. I don't want to throw it out. Okay, so that can kind of just hang out together there. While we're waiting for the noodle pot to come up, let's layer out our chashu on our sheet pan for the broiler. Hi Gabe, it's good to see you. How have you been? Yeah, you're right, Greek. This is your meal. Whoa, it came way too far out. I've never made this chashu before, so I'm really excited to try it. This is what we ended up with. Try and take like the most perfect pieces. I'm gonna do enough, 3, let's say. It's just for me. And then the rest of that I'll probably just vacuum seal all together. I'm really only making 2 bowls of ramen, and the other one I'm saving for Sam. I think I like that you didn't add a dessert, because often like when you go out for ramen, there's no way that you could fit a dessert in after you eat the whole bowl of soup, right? You've been well, just busy with work and life? It happens, right? Well, I'm happy you popped in today. Okay, that is so funny you said that, because I was also thinking of that. I keep buying the bubble tea kit from Costco, and it's been amazing. And I was like looking at it because I have it just over here by like our coffee station. I was like, do we need to make a bubble tea on stream today? But my phone is gonna die. This camera, I didn't realize my battery pack was out. So I just have to get it plugged in real quick. Give me a sec. I'd hate to have to finish the stream without seeing what we're doing on the stovetop. You rarely have dessert anymore? I will mostly just have dessert like if I make it myself. But I won't often eat dessert out. It's true, Bonk. I mean, like, 1, because it's so expensive, and 2, it's not usually something that I can't make myself, right? It was me, don't worry. It was I, the K-tron. Easy now. Easy now, noodle pot. Oh, that's not Sam, that's my roommate. close though because they look a little similar with their beardos. Okay, let's see how this looks. That's not a bad view. That's the best I can do for us. I'm not upset. Okay, the noodle pot is up, guys. Those take about 3 minutes to cook. I like to do those like absolutely last. So let's turn on the broiler for the chashu and get that heated. Gonna broil on high. We have our sesame seed garnish ready. You always want to make sure all your garnishes are good to go. Our green onions. And we're doing garlic chips. Also, why we don't go too crazy with the garlic in the broth, because you could always put garlic on top. And then I also have just this little noodle basket right before we're ready to eat. Either pop it in the noodle pot or the broth just with your corn, and that will get heated through. Garlic chips are my favorite garnish, I think, with the green onions. And then I also wanted to show you my living lettuces that have started to regrow from last week's stream. Remember, we saved all of them. And probably by the end of this next week coming up, I'll be able to use them again. But I'll be planting them into dirt coming up. Oh yeah, I gotta move my oven rack back up. It grew a lot, hey? I didn't think it would grow that fast. So Greek, is this your favorite style of ramen that you usually have? Or do you get something else? Dried fried shallots? I've never had that from anywhere here. We're getting out the most amazing ramen bowl that Sam got for us. And then we're just keeping our eyes on the chashu. I'll get my little noodle pack out of the bag, so that's good to go. So they have 4 packs of noodles left. And then they're always just like tied with that little piece of paper. Wow, thanks camera. Thanks for that. It was me, guys, don't worry. I'll fix it. She just couldn't hold on. I just gotta fix how the cord was hanging, that's all. It's a Thai thing? The dried fried shallots you can find on Amazon. You tell it what's what, Greek. Okay, we're good there. We're good. Don't worry. No crisping yet, but it's getting like melted-y looking on top of the chashu pieces. So when we drop the noodles in the water, we can also put the corn in, I'm thinking. It'll be around the same amount of time to cook. You gotta speak to it a certain way. The things that I've said to all of my streaming equipment, I'm surprised it still works. Hello, things are happening. Gonna get some tongs so we can flip the chashu pieces over, hopefully. Or I'll need a spatula. Let's see how delicate they are. I gotta see that, Bonk. Thanks for posting the link. Yum. Hello. Okay, we hear the fat popping. That's when you know things are happening. Yeah, now that it's hot, I just want to show you this one. Insane. We're gonna flip this and let it finish crisping the other side so it doesn't get too rendered out. My goodness, the smell though. Because like I haven't even tried a piece of pork yet. We just think we know what it's gonna be. Yeah, all the fat that we saved from cooking the chashu. I don't even know yet what I'm gonna do with that. Fried rice would be amazing, right? Because it's flavored with the onion and garlic and ginger. I don't know either of those people that you're asking me about because I live in Canada, so I don't know what the American commercials are like. But since I know what State Farm is, I'm gonna be with State Farm side. What's happening, Greek? What? Thank you, my guy, for that. I mean, this stream's for you. Okay, this is scary, so I'm just gonna put it over here for a sec. Popping fatty pork. Don't stay near it until it's like calmed down a little bit. Thank you, Greek. Gifting the sub to someone who's been with us a long time and actually who I've cooked for in person as well. Flower the talking flower. All right, chashu is resting. We're just gonna put it on the side. Oven off. Do not burn yourself. That pan is scary hot, I'm sure of it. So first thing I'll do, I don't know if I'll cook all of this corn. Let's see how these noodles go in the pot. There's room. Put the corny in the noodle strainer. And the noodles are in the pot. What the heck, Kate? Stay. We're good. Who is Flo? A mild-mannered woman? That is a very true statement, Bonk. Yeah, if a woman is mild-mannered when you first meet her, never irritate her. I'm just gonna stir my corn a bit because we don't have like a ton of liquid in here. miso broth going off. The noodle strainer is being used as a corn strainer. Yep, because they're both in the same pot. And there just wasn't enough broth in this one for me to put it in there and it be submerged. So this is what we're doing, Greek. It's pretty crazy, I know. And I don't even use that noodle strainer often, but every now and then it really comes in handy, I will say. They're almost there. Bring the bowl over. And we'll just put the noodles right into there. Switch that over into the broth for now. And yeah, these noodles are super thin. They'll like overcook in seconds. So that's al dente, like it has a little bit of a starchy bite still to it, but like Bonk said, if you cook it to what you think is done, they're gonna go soggy. Look at how nice those actually look just in the bowl. My camera's behind now. But let's come on over to finish it up anyways. What does Alton Brown say? Multitaskers are the way to go. I didn't know that he said that. Okay, so I'm gonna put the garnishes up here. We'll bring over the broth with the corn. Turn off my noodle pot. I don't want all of that corn. I just wanted to cook it all and then save for leftovers. So I'm just gonna pour out what I want and then save the rest. And so then when you're like plating ramen, it's usually plated in all the separate components as well, that you can clearly see everything that's included in the dish. Next, I'm gonna pop the broth in, and then we can finish with the egg, the chashu, and everything else that will kind of float. I think the alkaline noodles are a bit more forgiving as far as like overcooking them and them going mushy, but these somen noodles are quite delicate. Okay, I was like worried about the color of the broth and how it was gonna look all together in the bowl. That looks so good, guys. This. We'll pop that in so it can get nice and heated. And so maybe I'll switch this really dark side around. A chef trick for hiding what you don't want them to see. It's only me though, so I don't really care. Ooh, this piece is so tender. It's falling apart. Come to me, Elise. I'm not promising these to be super duper dark by any means because they didn't marinate for a ton of time, but let's see. first I'm gonna sprinkle our other things. I always pop the egg on last. Have I ever made Korean fried chicken with cheesy corn? No. But I'm very intrigued by this whole cheesy corn thing. I would try it. I don't know if you heard that just now, but my stomach just like growled very intensely. Do we need to come closer for this? I think so. There we go. Hello. So see how I'm like putting things around in a circle? Because the egg always goes in the middle. The other thing I want to try, is it the Korean corn dogs? With the cheese and stuff in there? Okay, that's not bad. That's not bad. I always like nestle it into the noodles. And then just let me grab my phone real quick so that we can take a photo when we open it up to see the yolk. They have Korean corn dogs at your Costco? Not in the concession, but to just like buy in the frozen area. Nice. Sometimes the yolk kind of gets weird when you cut it, so just like spread it back out. That's the one though, guys. Can you tell I've made a couple bowls of ramen in my life? And also eaten them to like appreciate the art and time. Labor of love. Was this past the test or what, Greek? There, I'll get some light on the chashu. It doesn't look as nice when I look with my camera, so I gotta turn it up a sec. Thanks, guys. I'm really proud of this one. I don't often make pork ramen. I always make like duck ramen. My first chashu experience. I think I have a soup spoon. Let me check. A proper one. Hasn't been used in a minute, so let's get the dust off of there. Oh wait, I needed chopsticks too, guys. Okay, now we're there. I'm gonna be honest here, guys. This is what I'm really looking forward here. And what did we say yesterday, Bonk? If you can cut the chashu just with your chopsticks, that's when you know. My Instagram is Cook with Kate as well. I'm shaking my head because I just ruined myself. That's better than like any chashu I've ever had. Come on. You taste the soy, You taste the aromatics, but it's not salty by any means. And it just melts in your mouth. There's no like weird stringy bits that you have to chew through. Mmm. And then, yeah, I always like dunk the egg under the broth a bit. She's still steaming. See how the nudes turned out. Thank you so much for requesting this one, Greek. I really got excited when I saw you request that. That slurp was for you guys. And yeah, for me to go out here to eat a bowl of ramen, I think they're all around like 20 bucks or more, like 25 bucks. To me, I can't pay $25 for just one bowl of soup, right? It just doesn't make sense. So making it at home, you'll really save a lot of money. Especially if you already have the broth done and good to go. Okay, see, I told you the noodles soak up everything. You almost get a different flavor in each bite as you eat this. It's like onion, then you get garlic, and then you get the sweet corn, then you get nutty sesame. And then same with the egg. I usually just split it with my chopstick like that. We might have to sneak it on the spoon for ease of eating. Nom. So the timing on that egg, guys, if you want to make it for yourself at home, I always start with boiling water first and then put the eggs in. And then it's a 7.5-minute timer. You would leave a little bit of broth in the bowl when you're done. I'm a bad ramen eater then, bonk. It's usually like $3 or $4 for a piece of chashu. I guess I can look. Because I linked Marutomu earlier. Let's see what their ramen bowl is. Because I remember before, I think it was $24 for the works bowl with everything on it. Ramen. So yeah, the one with chashu tamago. Really? It's only $19.60? It hasn't even changed price then. And then it's $4 for 3 pieces of chashu on the side. Interesting. Bread? This is pork belly. It's called pork belly chashu. Okay, guys. That is it. The ramen is settling in. This is the best thing I made all weekend by far. I'm not saying the other things were bad, but this is just, yeah, I surprised myself. Sam was gonna be happy, let's put it that way. Nice. Cata Whimsy is making butter tarts for Maple Week. She always kind of does Maple Week. She's a food and drink streamer and a Canadian. But you know what? I think we're gonna go find someone new again today. I see someone's painting a school bus, so that to me means that they're gonna eventually convert it, and I love watching stuff like that. Sam was working hard today. That was only a 2-hour stream. That's it. That's how quick and easy this was. And often on Sundays, we have quick and easy streams. So we always say 3 hours or less because, yeah, we have life outside of the internet. That makes me feel better, Bonk. Because I don't think I've ever been able to fully finish a bowl of ramen from a restaurant. I've always taken it home for snacks the next day. It's not considered a compulsory, or sorry, it's not considered to be compulsory to complete the entire dish, especially the broth from ramen or similar kinds. Was I supposed to get a food truck? We still have the truck. We just haven't built it yet. And we're still deciding on what we want to do. Because, like, the world's changed since we bought it 4 years ago. Okay, let me set this up. I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your weekend, whatever you get up to. I'm definitely going to go for a walk. It looks really nice outside. I think I spelled that right. Bye, DJ Beats. Greek, one last time before we go. Thank you very much for saving up your points to request this one today. Yeah, we haven't decided if we want to use the truck as a down payment for something bigger so that we're not going to be as cramped in that space. Haven't decided yet. So just know that the truck still exists, guys, and eventually we'll get into doing that. And don't worry, your questions never bug me on it. Okay, it says the channel is intended for mature audiences. I'm not really too worried. It looks quite chill. She says Sunday bus along with Lala. Let's go spread the deliciousness through Twitch. Hopefully I inspired you guys this weekend to eat better, cook food for yourself and other people. If you can share it, that's always the best too. And we learned something new. Like, we should always learn something new every day, whether it is in food or anything in your life, right? So I am feeling accomplished now. Day complete. Okay. We'll be back Friday, actually maybe Thursday, because I put a poll in Discord asking if I did Thursday streams doing sourdough stuff, if people would watch. So you might see me Thursday at 11 a.m. Pacific. If not, though, Friday as always. And stay tuned in Discord for the schedule to come up. All right, that's all I got, friends. Thank you for all the bit.lys today. Greek for your gifted subby as well. Take care. And I'll see you next time. Bye!
This is the way we paint the bus,
Yes.